Warning, this video will contain a lot of spoilers. Okay, so before this video starts, I just wanted to say I'm already canceled on Twitter. People got upset because I said that Raj would become straight in this thumbnail. Obviously, it's a joke. If you watch the video, Raj isn't mentioned there because I eliminated him in part 1, where I said Raj and Bowie are still a couple going on strong. This is clearly clickbait, and it worked, I guess. Gladly, most of them found it funny and knew it was a joke, but some of them thought I was serious because apparently they know me so well. Yes, I'm that serious about my videos. That's why I put Peppa the Pig in my total drama video. Hello everyone, and welcome to this very inactive Total Drama channel. As you know, the first episode of the new season of Total Drama finally airs tomorrow on the 4th of December. And do you know exactly what that means? Yes. That just means that someone will somehow leak the whole season in English in one day. I don't know how you guys do that stuff, but I'm not complaining. As we know, the first season has not aired in the US yet, but it has aired in Canada and the UK, so the English version is officially out. I do think the US is waiting to air both seasons back to back, which is kinda dumb, especially if you are gonna wait almost a year since the season first came out and everything has already been quote-unquote leaked. But something that leaked was the first episode of season 2. I don't know how they keep doing this. Like, can't they just keep the season in a safe space? The good thing is that it got leaked so we can watch, but the bad is that it kind of takes away the suspense, especially if the whole season leaks in one go. But I'm here to do my job by watching the episode for you guys. This recap will not be as detailed as the ones I did in season 1. Instead, I will kind of change the concept. So I will start by briefly recapping the whole episode and tell you what happened. Then I will review it and tell you my thoughts, what I liked and didn't like. Of course, this video will have spoilers, so if you don't want to get spoiled, then click away. The recap will start when I count to 3, so 1, 2, 3. So the episodes start with Chris in a helicopter saying hello and doing a short recap on what happened last season. Nothing unusual about the recap. He then heads to the main area where all the 16 campers return. No new contestants, but someone did get a makeover. Can you guess who that is? After a brief talk, he opens the helicopter up and dumps all of them from the aircraft, lands it, and kills an intern. The intro comes on and I got kind of disappointed because this is the same intro as last season. Everyone arrives at the dock and no one is happy they got dumped, especially Millie, who somehow caught 2 fish. Priya gets the first confessional and talks about why she decided to come back. The campers are instructed to head to the bleachers. On their way there, we get a few interactions. Emma and Chase apparently broke up off-screen because Emma rewatched the last season and saw that Chase didn't throw the challenge for her, but for pizza. Nichelle also greets Emma, but gets ignored. Emma thinks there is no point in making friends with her because she will probably be the first one voted off. This supposed normal girl chats with the hockey bros. It is revealed it's Scary Girl, who is trying to act more normal this season. Millie reveals that Priya helped her prepare for this season by giving her a guidebook, but she didn't really do anything with it. Axel is gonna try to make more friends this season. It's not going great, but she is still learning. They arrive at the bleachers and everyone gives Bowie the stinky eye because of what he did last season with Millie's notebook. Bowie tries to give an apology to everyone, which was planned by him and Raj, and it wasn't well received. This season, Priya is going to try to stay under the radar because winning last season will make her a big target, but this backfires because Chris hypes her up. Chris reveals that the teams will be handpicked by Priya and Bowie since they were the final 2 last season. The ones Priya picked were Millie, Emma, Caleb, Damien, Axel, Z, and Nichelle, and they are called Team Ratface. Bowie's team consists of Raj, Wayne, Julia, Chase, MK, Scary Girl, and Ripper, and they are Team Skunk Butt. Before the challenge starts, we get to learn a few more things about the contestants. After Nichelle flopped last season, Hollywood canceled her and has since trained with the world's top parkour, kung fu, and gymnastics expert. Caleb wants to make an alliance with Priya, who gets affected by his looks. But this interaction quickly gets interrupted by Millie. So the first challenge is called Grandma's Footsteps and is inspired by the red light, green light from Squid Games. So what they do is that when Chef's grandma isn't looking, they will try to make their way to the other side. When she turns around, they need to stop moving and stand still. If they are caught moving, they will be hit by a pink balloon and are out of the challenge. So here is a short summary of what happened during the challenge, as well as the elimination order. Also, Wayne has an itchy butt. I don't know what Raj gave him, or was it Bowie? So Millie is out first because she wants to prove that she is a strong competitor and runs even if Chef's grandma has already turned around. Priya also gets eliminated because she went to check on Millie. Z gets eliminated because his soda was fizzing, followed by Ripper, who got tripped by Axel. Then Chase gets eliminated because he tried to go for it, but because of cartoon logic, the balloon that missed became a boomerang. Thereafter, Damien got out because a murder hornet landed on him and he got scared and started to move. Chef's grandma does a spinny thing which makes it unclear if she sees them or not. Wayne, Raj, Axel, and Scary Girl decide to risk it all, but instead all of them get hit and are out. MK decided during the challenge that she would hang on Caleb's back, which he noticed, and it got both of them out. But something MK noticed during the challenge was that there is just an intern uniform hanging out somewhere. It's now up to Bowie, Emma, Julia, or Nichelle to win it for their team. By trying to get some good points on her team, Julia decides to offer herself and take Emma down with her so Bowie can go for the win. This takes both of them out. It's now Bowie versus Nichelle, and in an unexpected twist, Nichelle does a high jump and is able to cross the finish line first without getting hit. Thus, winning the challenge for her team, this means that Team Skunk Butt is up for elimination. During the elimination ceremony, it's very unclear who is going to go. Chef mentions that both Chase and Bowie were at risk. He then mentions Scary Girl for some reason, to which she responds by telling everyone how she is no longer Scary Girl, but Normal Girl. She has tried so hard to be normal by reading normal books and watching normal movies, even going as far as looking at their sleep from outside their windows or their closets. However, this creeps everyone out, and in the end, it's Scary Girl that goes home by the drone of shame. Again. So here are my thoughts on the episode. Overall, this was a very good episode. We all know the first episodes are always a little bit slower because they need to fit the introductions and the challenge in one episode. I think they did very well with the pacing. The beginning was good. It was nice to see. A lot of them were continued storylines from last season, like Emma breaking up with Chase and Caleb wanting to play the game since he didn't get to last season, like literally. Relationships also carried on from last season, which I liked. For example, everyone still hated Bowie, and he had to quote-unquote apologize. The teams were also very interesting. The names sucked, though, because those felt very childish. I felt like the teams were very heroes versus villains. Anyone else got those vibes? I mean, looking at the skunk butts, outside of Scary Girl, Raj and Wayne, most of them can be considered villains. I was very interested when I saw Bowie's team because I felt like most of them were very big personalities from last season. Bowie, Julia, Ripper, MK, Chase, and even Scary Girl. Meanwhile, Priya got Axel, Caleb, Nichelle, Z, and Damien, who didn't either make it far or get a lot of screen time, so that split between the teams was very noticeable. Out of the teams, I'm totally rooting for the rat faces. I do feel like there are a lot of underdogs there. So about the challenge, I liked it and it fit very well for this episode. It was quick and simple, but still entertaining to watch. Some eliminations were a little bullshit. Like Chase's one was kind of a flashback to when Cody did the same thing to Katie. Z's elimination was also weird. It made sense, but where did the soda can come from? Because I didn't see it here when you ran. Nichelle winning was cool, but it was kind of random, don't you agree? Especially when she didn't talk or had a scene during the challenge. I forgot she was even there before they mentioned she was in the final 4. Now about the elimination, one thing about the challenge was that there was no one's fault they lost. Like, you couldn't blame anyone more than anyone else. It was everyone's fault, and they have an equal blame for it. Yes, you could put the blame on Bowie because he didn't beat Nichelle, but no one would beat her. So, going into the elimination, it was pretty hard to predict who would go. From spoilers, we knew it would be Scary Girl, but she didn't do anything wrong during the challenge. She got eliminated the same way Raj and Wayne got out. So I was wondering, now how did she go home? Then Chef mentions her name out of nowhere as she did something wrong, which she didn't. Scary Girl goes on this little rant about trying to be normal, and this creeps everyone out. Her reason for going home makes sense, but her name shouldn't have even been brought up during the ceremony. So I blame this elimination on Chef. I feel like this was another elimination where someone goes home because of something that happened at the last minute. They could be fine the entire episode, and then something random happens during the ceremony. For example, Z's and Caleb's elimination last season was like this, maybe even MK's, but at least hers made sense for the story. I was also disappointed that it was the drone of shame again, as well as the same intro from the first season. Like, can we be a little fancy here and change things up? I feel like a jetpack would be a fun elimination method where they get a non-controllable jetpack and yeets them off the island. Like, imagine MK getting the jetpack, thinking she can control it, just for her to fly right into the ocean floor. Now, before I end this supposed short recap, let's talk about the characters and a few dynamics I noticed. Some of them I have already talked about in my prediction videos, so check them out. So let's talk about Axel first. All her interactions were with Ripper, which makes sense, but I do think they are building up a Ripper and Axel duo. But this time, in terms of friendship, oh, imagine if they make this a new couple. Nichelle was also interesting in the episode. She had her moments, but it still felt like she wasn't there. I think it was because she did not have any interactions except for the Emma one. Mostly when Nichelle talked or did something, it was about herself. I also noticed Wayne and Raj talking about not being able to be separated from each other. Either this is some foreshadowing of them being on different teams later on, or one of them being independent without the other one. I noticed Caleb in this episode got a lot of screen time. I know they kind of have to since they did him dirty last season. It does feel like they are building up Caleb to become a big personality this season. He is very ambitious and ready to play the game. Like, all his confessional was about his gameplay, which was interesting. I noticed that during the picking phase, he said something about being 5th picked was not good. Maybe that's some foreshadowing. He also seems to want to align with Priya and directly noticed it will be hard with Millie there, so I can see him take her out to get closer to Priya. Speaking of Priya, she was fun to watch this episode until she got out just to check on Millie. It does seem that she cares too much about her, so for Priya's sake, I need Millie gone. I still want Priya to play her own game. Like, I know Millie is your bestie, but it's getting a little bit too much. Priya is basically a simp to Millie. So please, Caleb, please take care of Millie and get rid of her. Still love Millie, though. She was weird in this episode, and I kinda liked how she tried too hard even if she flopped. Just don't bring my girl Priya down with you. I think I have talked enough today. Of course, there are more dynamics like Julia and MK, which is super interesting, but I think this video is too long and I need this video to be ready before the episode airs. And it's 3 a.m. here, so I have like 20 hours on me. I also have to sleep, so I have a lot to do. With all that said, bye, and sorry for lying about this being a short video. I expected like 8 minutes, but I guess you get what you get. Enjoy.